Now I know some of y'all like wonder, W, what you are doing another Naruto video? What is this? What's the world come to? Look, dog, y'all can chill out. Y'all can chill out. Y'all can relax. I was asked to do this video. Okay, I was asked to get, well, more or less, I was asked to give my thoughts on this subject, right? And I have talked about Naruto, Uzumaki Naruto's character, to ad nauseum, to a great extent, to more of an extent than it deserves. If he wasn't so popular, because his character, adult Naruto did come up. I gotta give him that. He came up. Still problematic, but came up to a degree. Gotta give him that. For Naruto, it's massive improvement. It was one chapter. I mean, if you want to talk about Naruto Gaiden, we can throw it in. Even I think I did some reviews on that, and it, had some good points to it. But we're not here to talk about that. What we're here to talk about is an individual based on my last video about Naruto being, how would you say, part one, okay, part two. People Shippuden part two. Post-Timeskip Naruto being superior to Pre-Timeskip Naruto as far as the series goes. And someone one of the subscribers, one of my homies on Google Plus and all whatnot, asked me, yo, Wonder, well, what about Naruto as a character himself? And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna actually have to do a video on that. I'm actually gonna have to think on that one. So it's been a few days now by the time this video is being recorded, and I'm still thinking as this video is going on. But regardless, we're going to try as best as I can, as legitimate as y'all know how I get down, as detailed as I get down, to explain to y'all which is an actually better written character. Okay, because that's what actually matters in this case. Not what you like more, what people think is better. No, what's an actually better written character? Pre-Timeskip Naruto or Post-Timeskip Naruto? Even though it's the same character, I get where people are going with this because of how much stuff went down in Post-Timeskip and some of the debacles that occurred. You don't recognize how much of a debacle occurred in Pre-Timeskip that helped lead and led to the foundation of the debacle of Post-Timeskip. But regardless, we go in here. We shall compare both parties, okay, both entities here, split up into 5 parts, okay, for each. Make things simple. I was thinking how I'm going to do this. Splitting up into 5 makes things simple. Now, let's start obviously with Pre-Timeskip Naruto. So many people love him, as well as he's the origin of the story, so it makes perfect sense. We got the beginning, early Naruto. You have dealing with the Akatsuki. You have pretty much the Gaara saga, if you will. You have, Chunin exam and then some. And you also have the pretty much Orochimaru saga, dealing with the sound form and then some. And then you have pretty much the Sasuke saga, Uchiha Sasuke saga, dealing with pretty much gearing towards the battle that led Sasuke to leave the village. Let's start with the origin of the story, right? Naruto's character at the beginning was this very childish, immature character. Let's stop right there and understand. Childish, immature, for no damn reason. You can say, well, he's trying to get attention, he's hated by you're hated by the village, so you're going to do things to have them hate you more. Yeah, that's logical. And you can say, well, he's a kid. Who does that? Seriously, that's not good. That's not a good beginning for a character. It just is not. Especially if this is a building his own moment story. You can say, well, if it's a coming of age story, can he come up? Now, I don't know how much fiction y'all have read and or watched, but when his character starts off piss poor, it's very hard to make not only a likable character, just a well-written character. Because you're climbing up mountains and molehills and treading through mighty valleys to salvage this character. Understand that? Now, when I say he's immature and childish, and it's not just because of his age, because there's been plenty of kid characters that are not. This is taken to the extreme. And then we're supposed to fall behind him and believe it as he's thrown into there and he shows his belief. Like, he pulls a 180 within the first 5 chapters. And now he's this positive role model. He's supposed to be about hard work. Even though Rock Lee represents hard work. And we'll get that later, possibly. Talked about it often. Okay. He's pulling a 180 from this very childish character in chapter 1 who can't do anything, but all of a sudden in half of a night is able to pull off a forbidden jutsu and pull off all these shadow clones, all these kagebushin, but he couldn't form a regular clone during class. So there's a bunch of contradiction at the beginning of the story. That's his character. It's contradictory. Now, moving to the Akatsuki. The Akatsuki, and again, that's a whole separate discussion on the Akatsuki themselves and their individual motives. But here you have top tier shinobi, okay, and they're pushing and they require and then you have with Uchiha, Sasuke, Haruto, Sakura, Itachi, Kakashi, and the whole Team 7 aspect. And a lot of people want to attribute Naruto as the team builder. That didn't actually occur, and I'll explain why in the whole Gar saga. But here you have the whole foundational element, and Naruto, understand this, Naruto was still trying to do everything by himself. Now, he was listening, no, he wasn't listening, he was hearing Kakashi, but he was still felt as an outcast, he was still trying to do things, he was still trying to prove himself, he still was inept, he was, and still trying to compare himself to Sasuke. Now, understand this. So many times people saying, oh, Sasuke's the one that was the lone wolf. Sasuke. Naruto was the one who kept trying to do things by himself. And the Akatsuki, they came in twos, they came in tandems, and they were beasts. Well, some can say, well, he evolved in that arc. Hold it. And then we know about the whole, the dealing with Jiraiya and the whole Sage thing, because Naruto was a special case, even though he was inept. Naruto was simply inept. That's the reality of the situation. For those who don't understand what inept is, it means he's not skillful. Pretty much. That's, keep it simple, he's not skillful at what he's doing. He wasn't. That's the reality. Yeah, he had Kurama's chakra, but he was not good. The fact is, he only, and this is throughout the series too, he only knew one chakra nature. Yeah, he had a bunch of chakra. He only knows one type? Come on now. Stop it. One type. That's it. There are 8 types of chakra nature. 7 or 8? 8 types, yes. 5 normal types. You say, well, what about the Raikage? The Raikage, especially the 3rd Raikage, was on some different level stuff. Naruto was gift wrapped so many things, but that goes later in the story. But understand this, comparing, we're talking about pre-Timeskip Naruto. We saw what he brought to the table. It wasn't good. He just wasn't good. He was developing, but he just was not that skillful. And so we see what happens with the Akatsuki. Now, the whole Gar saga. This is where it began, and a lot of people start praising Naruto. But I have hit on the point so many times, Duex Machine, talking about how Hyuga Neji clearly beat him, but Naruto was forced to win. And here's why I also talk about, the whole team aspect. It was Uchiha Sasuke. Go back to that whole fight, especially when Gar went full one tail, right? Full Shikaku. It was Shikaku, correct? Ikaku? I'm trying to remember, it's been a while. Anyways, it was Itachi. I was like, Naruto, we got to team up. Rely on me. Rely on us. You can't do it alone. And Naruto pulled out, the toad and everything. And he barely survived. That's the reality. He survived. And he even admitted, yo, thanks, Sasuke. Naruto, so pretty much Naruto's development was because Sasuke was pushing Naruto to actually develop instead of Naruto develop. Gar, and then he's like, with Gar, I could have become you. Was Gar wrong? Naruto's like, he could have been him. So pretty much we're at a point where Naruto, he's getting development because it's a forced development. Because he's being encountered with a situation with a person who he easily can become. And you could say that Gar was the reason that Naruto's path was established, as well as as well as Sasuke. If not for Gar and Sasuke at that time, Naruto would have been a completely different character, would have went evil. That's the reality. So Naruto was highly susceptible to his peers and peer influence. If he's highly susceptible to peer influence for the positive, imagine if Sasuke would have been on the negative at the time. Imagine if Kakashi, now this is also the sensei, imagine if Kakashi would have taught them some hardcore dark martial arts. What do you think would have happened? Naruto was highly susceptible at this time. So he went from being childish and immature to being, having this mindset that he's got to prove it, to the fact is he was highly susceptible and put on his path by pretty much his peers. Kakashi had some influence, but it was pretty much his peers. Now we get to the point about Orochimaru. And Orochimaru, he was the antagonist that Naruto needed. Because Orochimaru, he at the time was going against pretty much everything that Naruto believed in. Not in the same sense as Pain and Naruto, and I'll explain why. With Orochimaru, and understand, Orochimaru also came from Konoha. Okay, Orochimaru is a legendary son. We have this sound 4, and the sound 4 we saw the power, we saw the skill, and pretty much Naruto and them guys was getting put that work put on, and it showcased that we're really not all of that. And with Orochimaru, and it's talking about power and his knowledge and his skills, and it's someone you have to respect. His methods and his game for power, game for knowledge and all that. You may not agree with it, but here he is juxtaposed to Naruto, and how different was he really from Naruto? And not in the same sense as Naruto, I'm related to you, but the fact is Naruto just relied on power, strength. I want to get stronger. I want to, become Hokage. Why? I want to get accepted by the village. Well, that alone is the different factor between, you can say, in that arc, between Orochimaru and Naruto. But the whole thing is both quests, we're striving for greater something. And in fact, Naruto wasn't much different at the time than Sasuke was. Naruto was after power, but for different reasons than Sasuke was. Sasuke was after the whole revenge factor because of his brother Uchiha Itachi. While Naruto was just trying to get strong for what? To become a Hokage? He didn't even understand what it meant to be Hokage. So what exactly is he striving for at this point? So pretty much the Orochimaru arc is kind of, it was necessary. And we did see character development. We did. Not much, but we saw stuff. And then finally we have the whole conflict with Sasuke. And at that point, a lot of people think it was done well. Why do you say it was done? Why do you think it was done? I really have to ask, because if you look at it, what was the entire point of their conflict? Was it to stop Sasuke from leaving the village? Bring Sasuke back? So we're going to force someone against their will. But I thought you were talking about bringing everybody together, Naruto. So pretty much now this is establishing Naruto as, we joke later about the Naruto Jesus, as pretty much it shows how immature he was. And he's talking about understanding. He wasn't understanding Sasuke. We're going to fight to force you to come back to the... What would that have gained, Naruto? What did that have again, a lot of people present other points, and I'll gladly take them. But it's just a quick overview of the situation. So with Pre-Timeskip Naruto, what do we have here? We have someone who is childish and mature, who, was dependent on other characters to help, for his development, because he was not developing in his thoughts alone. It's reality. And conflicts arose because of certain figures that helped to, you could say, make him who he was, but at the same time, Naruto in Pre-Timeskip is dependent on the conflicts themselves rather than him, his own person developing and then combating with those conflicts. And to make that seemingly simple, instead of someone like, let's compare it to a character like Killer from Hunter x Hunter, right? Killer will stay developing. He's developing mentally, he's developing physically, he's maturing, and he's going away from a certain mentality and mindset toward his own individual one, along with he's adopting, going freaks is he's adopting, he's making a conscious effort, a conscious decision. Naruto, on the other hand, is being pushed along because of these conflicts, because of these influences. So pretty much Naruto, by the end of part 1, is susceptible, as well as stubborn as hell and thinks he's right. So we're having a seemingly contradictory character. He's susceptible, but thinks he's right. He's a pretty much a know-it-all at this point, if you will. Now let's move into Post-Timeskip. Post-Timeskip, until we come back from, he's just training with Jirai, even though it's, massively underwhelming as to how much he developed. But as far as his character, was he developed? He got older, but did he actually develop? No. People say he did. No, he didn't. Now we hit the pain arc with Uzumaki Naruto. With Nagato's character. Nagato was right. Nagato kept pushing him. And unlike in previous arcs, Naruto had to admit that, he ran into an ideology that was like, there's nothing I can say. He was still fighting, but there was nothing, he could do. This dude had power, he tried everything, and there was no Deus Ex Machina here. So he was facing the reality of the shinobi world. Before, he was living in kind of a fairy tale world, and you could say, well, what about his battle with Sasuke? What about his battle with Sasuke? It was a personal beef, if you will. This was the reality. I mean, the entire village was wrecked. Those his loved ones were dying. Those he cared about were dying. And now Naruto is finally experiencing what the shinobi world is all about. But did it change him? Yes and no. Now let's move on to the point about, you could say the Kage Summit. And all that, Donzo and everything else. And he's fight, later on he fights the Masked Man, and all of that. I'll just lump all of that in there. It's a lot of stuff, but when you look at it, Naruto by this point has become uberly idealistic. He learned, what can happen from Nagato about the shinobi world, but instead of learning fully and implementing that, he instead went the exact opposite and said, you know what, we need peace. Well, then what happens? He encounters people who have the mindset of peace, but a completely different ideology when it comes to peace. And so we see how underdeveloped it was when he comes up against the likes of Uchiha Maru, and as bad as it was even in Uchiha Obito, and trying to compare and whatever. And that's why Madara was so phenomenal for him. I think Madara made such an impact. And you have the whole situation, the debacle that it was, but the whole situation with Kaguya, and where, And I could get on the foolishness about Hogoromo and the Sage of Six Paths, but I won't. That's an entirely different video coming up. I was also asked to deal with that as well. When you look at all those chains of events and who he was, Naruto was being pushed as a symbol. But Naruto was also being pushed as, you can say, the tragic hero, if you will. Okay. Was he really a hero? That's debatable. But he's being pushed as a tragic hero. The flaws are evident. The flaws are very evident. Uber idealism. Where does it get you? Yeah, they won. But that victory led to end of series. The final clash between Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Itachi. I mean, not Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Sasuke. Helped put fuel to the fire because you have the figure in Itachi, Uchiha Itachi. Okay? And him talking about, what does it really mean to be Hokage? What is, the whole thing about the Shinobi world. And Sasuke with the whole Dark Avenger thing now. While he wasn't completely right, he was right in regards to the Shinobi world. And Naruto thinking, everything, and he's being pushed as this, Messiah. This Messiah complex, this Messiah character. And Sasuke kind of putting a nail in the coffin of what Naruto was trying to say. Like, yo, the Shinobi world isn't ever going to be this eternal peace. You're trying to strive for this peace, but it's not possible. So what do we have here? By the end, right, we have an adult Naruto. And it appears that adult Naruto is a much more sober-minded, much more balanced, much more realistic, rational character. Now, we have such a skip, we have decades worth of skipping in the manga. But regardless, we can clearly see that, even if you don't want to result in adult Naruto, we have, where pretty much Naruto and Sasuke, they almost had a damn death match. It was a draw. It says Naruto won, but come on, let's be real. It was a draw and they were bleeding out. I think Naruto recognized that, even though Sasuke says he's jealous, Naruto says that he understands him. Naruto, at that point, recognizes that I really don't understand. So when you look at Post-Timeskip, you have Naruto who was a little bit older, a couple years older, right? Not much different than what he was at the end of Pre-Timeskip. We have Naruto being confronted and realizing the reality of the Shinobi world. Then we have this whole thing from the Kage-sama and everything. And that, he tries to develop his ideology and his symbolism. I mean, at least he tries. As bad as it was, and the lack of development, because of how stagnant and stubborn it was, just like his character had been throughout the entire series. So at least Kishimoto was consistent with that. He at least was attempting to mature and develop his ideology. By the time you encounter, Toby turned into Uchiha, revealed as Uchiha Obito, as well as Uchiha Madara, and you could throw a little bit with Kage in there. We see that, Naruto is fervently confronted with his uber idealistic situation, and the light bulbs start to go off. And unlike in Pre-Timeskip, Naruto is actually waking up and recognizing, you know what? And then probably remembering what the lessons Nagato taught him. And you have the deaths of Yukineji, you have the deaths of Jiraiya, death of Guard. You had these deaths. And maybe I'm wrong. He's still holding on. But then you deal with Sasuke. And dealing with Sasuke and knowing what Sasuke became and what he was, here he is. He's pretty much brother in arms. He's at odds with him. And understanding what, at least a little bit of what Siege of Six Paths was talking about, with Indra and Ashura, and them ending the cycle of hatred. It cost him, in his mind to finally get it and mature. And then we see the relationship in the adult. So overall, I have to once again put Post-Timeskip Naruto over Pre-Timeskip Naruto as far as the writing, because Pre-Timeskip, he did not really develop. Post-Timeskip, wasn't the greatest. It was ugly at times, but there was a clear, if you look how Kishimoto was writing, it was clear that he was pushing forth Naruto to be transformed. It's just that Naruto was a stubborn character, and stubborn characters are, they make the eyes bleed, pretty much, for lack of a better term. So that's my thoughts on the matter. What are yours? Unexpected one, comment, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, y'all. Till next time, have a beautiful day, beautiful night, peace, and yes, that another Naruto video will be coming after this one.